What do you say? What do you say? What do you know? It is... Boy. It is college football week 3. I got Arizona, Kansas State on the laptop right now. I'm going to glance down at it because you got to watch while you're making podcasts. Got a bunch of storylines going into week 3. Colorado, question mark. Big game against Colorado State. The energy and the vibe is definitely more towards Colorado State. I think Colorado, there's a lot of drama on the team with players potentially getting forced to go to a concert to support Shedeur, yelling at the offensive line, even though his son can't throw a party. So I think Colorado State's got it there. How will Michigan and Notre Dame come back? Tough losses. I think Michigan is got to shoe in and win at home. Notre Dame goes to Purdue. Purdue's a Spoilermaker. So I would keep an eye out for that. Oklahoma, are they an upset alert against Tulsa on the road? South Carolina, LSU. Nick Saban said South Carolina is a tough place to play. Is that trap game for LSU? We'll have to see. Who would have thought in the start of the year? 2-0, number 24 in the nation, Boston College at Mizzou. Will that game be close, or will Mizzou just dominate them? I'm curious. Oregon's going to Oregon State. These rivalry games in the first week of the season are fantastic. We got Washington State, the battle of some form of Apple Trophy. Oregon State. You gotta love it. Arizona, Kansas State, which is on right now. So you got some information. But if you watch that game now, that game is on. Wisconsin versus Bama. Is Bama going to blow the doors off Wisconsin? Kind of excited to see. What's the possibility of FSU going 0-3? What is the possibility? Against Memphis. At home, mind you. Can Florida beat Texas A&M? As I said earlier, Washington State and Washington and West Virginia Pitt. The backyard brawl is back. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. So we'll start with some FBS games. FBS games to look up for. FSU on upset alert against Memphis at home. Are they going to go 0-3? Memphis has got some grit to them. Memphis has got some punch you in the mouth football. Their offense is consistent. Their defense can hang with y'all. Can DJ throw the ball? Can he be a quarterback? Keep an eye on that Memphis game. If that Memphis line goes, we're in the right area for you, I would put some stuff on that. Something to think about. Cincinnati at Miami of Ohio, a MAC battle versus a nice Big 12. What a game. It's going to be great. I love these inner weird matchups like Indiana going to UCLA because everyone moved around. So it's great to see that. 2-0 Washington State at 2-0 Washington. Now Washington's not what they used to be. Washington State, they've a lot of their guys at the transfer portal, but they're both 2-0 and it's a battle for the apple. Who doesn't want to win for the battle of the apple? West Virginia at Pitt, backyard brawl. Used to love watching this game in high school. This game used to be punch you in the mouth. Get egged on. Love that game. Toledo at plus 10.5 at Mississippi State. A MAC team going to the SEC to maybe not get whooped on. Just above 10-point spread is not bad for Toledo. They're not normally they're the normal powerhouse who's going to the MAC championship game. So something to tune in for. Indiana at UCLA. Indiana's a 3-point favorite on the road at UCLA. Again, this matchup is crazy. You got Big Ten and that one Pac-12 and they're traveling and it's madness. 2-0 team. And a big test for Indiana and UCLA. And Indiana's 2-0. That's going to be a great game. 2-0 UCF, a Big 12 battle of a newly acquired Big 12 UCF. And a 2-0 TCU, Big 12 battle. That is going to be a slobber knocker. That is a Saturday night 8 o'clock game on Fox. Going to be a hard-nosed, in-your-face offense of score. Hammer the over on that game. Whatever the over is, you hammer it. You lay everything you have on that over. That's a guaranteed Buckcast. Just absolutely super excited for these FBS games. Normally, I don't talk much about FBS, but those games are worth the watch. You college football haters, give SBS a try, and then when you watch these primetime games, then your attitude's going to change. So let's go into some top 25 games for week 3. As I'm speaking about this, I realize that it's a Friday night game, so kind of disregard this, but this is kind of something to maybe hold me accountable for. So number 20, Arizona at 14, Kansas State. Kansas State's a 7-point favorite. I wrote down Kansas State -7, so I'll just show you really quick. I'm taking Kansas And then I'm taking the over 16.5 because it's going to be an offensive game and Big 12 has no defense. Which so far that is hitting. That's a 35 points already in the third quarter. And Arizona's driving. Avery Johnson's having a game. He is running the ball there, doing the run-pass option, and he is dominating downhill. Bama at Wisconsin. Bama's a 16-point favorite. The over is 49.5. Big game for Luke Fickell in Wisconsin. Can they hang with the big dogs? They don't really hang with the Big Ten big dogs, but let's see what they can do. It's at home. Maybe some home cooking will help. Bama's offense stalled last week against USF, and I understand. I was like, well, they've won by 40. Yes, but 3.5 quarters of no offense, and they scored 3 straight touchdowns on a beaten-up USF squad. Keep an eye for if that offense can keep going and stay going and not be so and not in motion the entire game. Can Wisconsin score enough points? I don't know of any big names from Wisconsin that could help score points and get points on the board. But that's going to be Wisconsin's biggest thing. And I also think I would have more faith in their defense. They got those corn eaters, those big farm muscles up front that can make it difficult for Bama's offensive line. But the offense is what I think needs to score is going to be the factor. So let's see if Wisconsin can get it done. Number 16 LSU with South Carolina. LSU is a 6-point favorite. The over/under is 48.5. LSU, I haven't seen enough of them to be like, okay, this is the LSU we're expecting, because at this point, the 2024 LSU is so up in the air, I'm not sure what to expect as a team overall. They stalled out against USC and kind of fell apart at the end there. Can South Carolina score points with that rookie freshman quarterback they have with Goggles? He's a stud. Can they score enough points? And can their defense, keep LSU at bay? I think LSU's offense and South Carolina's defense is a good matchup in regards to South Carolina's defense will be able to stop them just enough, and I don't think LSU has enough offensive power to score 40 points. So I think it'll be a good space of a game to see who can control one end of the ball. But I think South Carolina needs to take advantage of opportunities that are given to them. LSU is going to do that. LSU is known to hand you opportunities, and you got to do well with them. And like I said, the rookie quarterback on the big stage, what can he do for that? Number 24, Boston College, at number 6, Mizzou. Now, Boston College defense looked good. I think they shut down FSU. Now, mind you, FSU looked horrible when they played them, but they still shut them down. Again, can BC score enough points? Now, I like the Bill O'Brien Boston College offense. I like their quarterback. I saw him against FSU. He can get the ball in motion. He can score some points. So I think this is going to go back and forth. Now, can Mizzou demonstrate on their powerhouse of the SEC and slap Boston College and put up 50, 35 points, a good amount of points? Can Boston hang? Boston College is a 14.5-point favorite, underdog, and I would be crazy to take them at 14.5. I think Boston College has got that Boston College grit, that Bostonian grit. I like Boston College, so just keep an eye on that. Trap game at Oregon at Oregon State. I think it's a rivalry game. I think Oregon struggled against Boise State. Their special teams bailed them out. They'd have a loss right there if they could have. Boise could have stopped a kick and a punt return. I know it's part of the game. Oregon State will be ready to play. It's a rivalry game. It's a 3:30 game. They're going to jump in there, bring on the Beavers. I think it's a big offensive game. I think Oregon's defense hasn't been tested and hasn't been proven enough that they can stop the ball. So I think Oregon and Oregon State are going to go hammer to hammer. I would also hammer that over. That's also one of my guarantees. Hammer the over on that. Oregon State is a 16-point underdog. That's also something to keep an eye on. I think in a rivalry game, that spreads a little. That's 2 touchdowns. I could even take a 10. I would take Oregon State at plus 10. So something to think about. Tulane and Oklahoma. Tulane looked good against Kansas State. They held them around. The weather was bad, but don't be surprised if Tulane goes in Oklahoma and gives them a run for their money. Offense-wise, a lot of people yesterday. Could Oklahoma's defense step up? They've never been able to. The Big 12 has no defense. Nah, not Big 12. Excuse me. They're in the SEC now. Shame on me. Notre Dame, be careful on Purdue soil. The spoiler makers, they like to play upset bid, and Purdue's at 8.5 underdog. I like Purdue to cover. I think this could be if this is another upset. I think they're starting to change names at Notre Dame because They don't play well at Notre Dame or in Purdue. I can see some things getting changed. So that is some craziness. We're really looking forward to that. So if Notre Dame doesn't play well, keep an eye out for the alarms in East Lansing. Here are my FBS predictions. I got about 10 games on here. I'm just going to go through them real quick, nice and slow. Pause the video at the end and just keep an eye out. I'm not writing them down, but here's the 10. I got Memphis at plus 6.5 at FSU. And I got under 53.5. Like I said, I like Memphis in that. Miami of Ohio plus 3 against Cincinnati. I'm also taking the under. MAC schools don't score. Florida plus 4 at Texas A&M. I like Florida. I think Billy Napier is trying to save his job, so I think they'll make a plus 4 run here. I like them. I'm hitting the over. Both teams can score. Defenses aren't there. Texas A&M, be careful. It could be a trap game. You can get involved. You guys looked subpar at home. We're trying to get past that and go on to bigger and better things. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see what y'all can do. Washington minus 5 against Washington State. I'm taking the over. Pac-12 schools don't have defenses, so I'm hammering the over. Again, Washington's in the Big Ten. My apologies. WVU minus 2.5 on the road at Pitt. I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be a slobber knocker game. It's going to be under 63. But give me West Virginia. I've been on West Virginia earlier. I know they disappointed me at Penn State, but let me get West Virginia. Indiana minus 3 at UCLA. Over 45.5. I think this is going to be a typical UCLA defensive game where one team scores 40 and the other one scores 43, 44, what have you. But I'm rocking with Indiana. They're going to be 3-0, and they're going to be a talk about team in the Big Ten under the rug. Colorado State plus 7. I think everything against Colorado is falling apart. You heard it here first. Colorado's not going to be talked about after this season. Deion's gone. His kids are gone. Colorado's going to be like, wow, what a way to get treated. And I'm going Colorado State. And I'm going UCF plus 2 with an over of 62.5. No defense, great game. Both teams are going to score a bunch of points. Give me UCF on the road plus 2 against TCU. And then 2-0 Virginia plus 1. Let's go 3-0 Virginia against Maryland. Let me get the under because Maryland can't score points. But let me get Virginia at plus 1, and they'll be 3-0 for the first time in so long. And God, it feels good for Virginia to be good. Let me get some top. Those are my FBS predictions. Let me get my top 25. I'm going to roll them off real quick. I got Kansas State money line. Kansas State over Arizona. I know the game is happening right now. It's 28-7, but that's what I wrote down. Again, money line, Kansas State against Virginia. See it right there. I got Bama at plus 16 against Wisconsin. No, I got Bama at minus 16. I think Bama is going to slobber knock Wisconsin. I'd love that game to be a close game, but I think Bama might be getting to that point where they find their role, and I think they come into Camp Randall and put a whooping on them. I'd like to see it, but I think Bama's going to be a plus 16. South Carolina beats LSU at home. So I'm going with that. South Carolina beats LSU at home, and I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be like a 24-17 game, and I think South Carolina is going to get opportunities and end up winning that game. So take South Carolina. That's a nice home team bet. Boston College at plus 14.5. Loses a close game, and it goes under 53.5. Boston College is a real team. A real school. It's going to be a tough loss for them, but they're going to be good, and they're going to cover that 14.5 spread. That's just too much. Oregon State against plus 16. Like I said, way too much for a rivalry game. I'm not taking that minus 16. Let me get that plus 16 Oregon State over 49.5. No defense. Tulane plus 14 over Oklahoma. I think Tulane can handle that. I think Tulane is a good football team. They did really well against Kansas State, that offensive team, and kept them at bay again with the rain. But I am taking Tulane. I think these upsets are too high. I think Tulane's going to keep it within 7, even 10. I hit. So Purdue at plus 8.5. I think it's going to be a 3-point game-winning touchdown. So let me take a single-digit touchdown difference, and let me get Purdue at plus 85. I'm going under both teams. It's going to be Notre Dame could turn into a turnover. Here you ball. Purdue, I don't know if they can score much points. I'm hammering the under. And then Oklahoma State plus 18.5 over Tulsa. I think Oklahoma State does well. I think Tulsa is going to come in and get beat around a little bit. Oklahoma State's getting ready for that those next couple of games. So give me Oklahoma State at minus 18.5 over Tulsa. I think Tulsa doesn't have enough to come bring to the table for Oklahoma. And I'm taking the under because Tulsa's not going to be able to score any points. So that's what you get for College Football Week 3. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody. Tune in Sunday morning, early Sunday morning for some NFL stuff. So we appreciate you.